Once upon a time in a bustling town, there lived a woman named Amelia. She was young, beautiful, and full of dreams when she married Charles, a man she believed to be her Prince Charming. However, Charles turned out to be a cruel and heartless man. He was reckless, selfish, and abusive. After a few years of marriage, when life became too much for him, he abandoned Amelia, leaving her alone with their 3 children, Jacob, Emma, and Sophie. Amelia was devastated but determined to provide for her children. With no support and limited options, she struggled to make ends meet. Desperation led her to a heartbreaking decision. She began selling her body to earn money. Night after night, she endured the pain and humiliation, all for the sake of her children. She hid her work from them, always ensuring they had food, clothes, and an education. Despite her hardships, Amelia was a loving and devoted mother, and her children adored her. Amelia's days were long and exhausting, but her nights were lonelier. Each time she looked at her children's innocent faces, she found the strength to continue. To make them happy, she celebrated their small achievements, such as a good grade or a handmade drawing, as if they were monumental victories. Her neighbors often whispered behind her back, but Amelia remained steadfast, her only focus being the well-being of her children. There were moments when Amelia's strength wavered. On quiet nights, she would sit by the window, her heart heavy with doubt, wondering if her children would ever forgive her if they learned the truth. But her resolve always returned, fueled by the thought of their bright futures. Occasionally, kind strangers offered small gestures of support, a bag of groceries left at her doorstep, or an envelope with money slipped under her door. These acts of kindness reminded her that there was still goodness in the world. Years passed, and the children grew up, shaped by their mother's unwavering sacrifices. Jacob, inspired by her hard work, became a successful entrepreneur who built a chain of innovative tech companies. Emma, fueled by her mother's compassion, pursued a career in medicine and became a respected pediatrician. Sophie, whose creativity was nurtured by her mother's encouragement, turned her passion for art into a thriving business, her paintings celebrated around the world. The siblings were determined to repay their mother for everything she had done. When they discovered the truth about her sacrifices, they were heartbroken but deeply grateful. Instead of shame, they felt immense pride in their mother's strength and resilience. With their newfound wealth, the children showered Amelia with love and care. They bought her a beautiful house in a serene neighborhood filled with sunlight and surrounded by a garden where she could plant her favorite flowers. They ensured she had everything she needed, from a personal chef to a driver, and spent as much time with her as possible. Amelia, once burdened with sorrow, now lived a life of comfort and joy, surrounded by the love of her children and grandchildren. As time went on, all 3 siblings found partners who cherished and supported them. Jacob married a brilliant software engineer who shared his passion for innovation. Emma met a kind-hearted fellow doctor who worked alongside her at the hospital. Sophie fell in love with a gallery owner who admired her art and encouraged her creativity. Together, they started their own families, bringing laughter and happiness into Amelia's life. For the first time in many years, Amelia felt at peace. One day, out of the blue, Charles returned. He had heard of his children's success and came seeking forgiveness. He claimed to regret abandoning his family and begged for a second chance. But the children were firm. They remembered the pain he had caused their mother and the sacrifices she made in his absence. "You left us when we needed you the most," Jacob said. "We owe everything to our mother. She's the reason we are who we are today." Charles pleaded, but the children refused to let him back into their lives. They protected Amelia, ensuring she never had to face the man who had caused her so much pain. Despite everything, Amelia held no hatred in her heart. She had moved on, and her life was now filled with love, respect, and the joy of seeing her family thrive. In the end, Amelia's story became an inspiration to many in the town. Her strength, sacrifices, and unwavering love for her children showed that even in the darkest times, hope and resilience could lead to a brighter future. Her grandchildren often gathered around her, listening to stories of her life, learning lessons of courage and compassion. Surrounded by her children and grandchildren, Amelia lived the rest of her days in peace, knowing that her struggles had not been in vain.